Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you guys this creepy ventriloquist doll makeup tutorial. I hope that you guys enjoy something a little bit more creepy and a little bit less glam. If you do want to know how I achieved this look, then just keep on watching. So to start off, I already have one brow. I already covered one up, and I'm not really experienced with this, so I'll show you guys roughly what I did. I applied some Pritt Stick to my eyebrow and I just kept layering it, and in between layers I was just powdering it with a translucent powder. I did find that there were some stubborn hairs that didn't want to go down, so I would definitely recommend using a spoolie and just going through your brows, because I did find that it was hard to cover. So once I've layered up some glue and powder onto my brows, I went ahead and used a full coverage foundation. This is the MAC full coverage foundation, and I just applied it straight on top of my brow, and I wanted it to be a color that matched the rest of my skin tone, and this is the color that I'm going to be using for the tutorial as well. So as you can see, there's a little bit of brow that didn't get covered, but I did go ahead and find a way to cover that after, so I'll show you guys what I did to do that. So I just applied that all over, and then I made sure to powder all of the foundation as well. And here my boyfriend comes in and he's really confused what I'm doing. Next, I'm just applying some of that foundation all over the rest of my skin. I really wanted to look extremely flawless. I really wanted to look like there was none of my natural skin tone coming through. I just wanted to look pretty much all one shade, because we are going to be seriously contouring after. So yeah, I just wanted to make sure I had an even base. And then I went ahead and highlighted all the areas I wanted to bring forward with this Maybelline concealer. I'm just blending that in with the same brush. This is a Morphe foundation brush. I went ahead and applied some eyelash glue onto the areas that didn't want to stick down. Don't worry, this doesn't pull out your brows as long as you remove it correctly. I still have all my brows intact, so don't worry. I'm just powdering the rest of my face while that's drying, just to make sure that everything is super matte. I am going for a wooden doll, so I wanted everything to be as matte as possible. To begin to contour, I'm taking Makeup Geek Latte eyeshadow, and I'm just taking that on a Real Techniques contour brush. First of all, I'm just kind of taking it on the outer perimeter of my face, so just on my forehead and below my cheekbone. And I do go ahead and do one side of my contour just because I was kind of winging this and I wasn't sure what I was going to do, so I decided to do one side so I knew what I was doing. And then I'm just kind of creating a curve on my cheekbone and taking Mocha eyeshadow from Makeup Geek. That's really going to give a lot more definition because it's a lot darker, and I'm just gradually building up that dark brown and making sure the cheek contour turns up towards my nostril, so that will just give the appearance of a very curved cheek. And if you feel like you're losing the shape a little bit, you can go back in with that foundation you applied all over and just kind of reshape the cheekbone, because this is really important and it definitely changes the structure of the face and makes the face look like you're constantly smiling. So I'm just making sure to really define that contour area and to build up the deepness in the outer part. I'm taking some of that dark brown on a smaller brush just to really define that shadow underneath the cheekbone. Next, taking Emphasize powder from MAC, I'm going to be applying this on the highest points of the cheeks, and this would be on the apples of the cheeks for this case. This really brings forward these areas and really makes them stand out. Again, it totally changes the structure of the face and it just really emphasizes these areas. Next, we're going to work on the nose and the hollows of the eyes. I want to create a tiny little button nose, just like a doll, and I really want to create the effect of some really deep eyes. So I'm starting off with that latte eyeshadow again and just contouring either sides of the nose and also taking it up to my covered brow. And this is going to kind of change the structure again of the face, because this is where normally our brows would be, but what we're actually going to do is apply our brows a lot higher. So we're creating the bone structure higher than our actual bone structure is. To narrow down the nose, I'm taking that contour on either sides and bringing it quite far in, and then to also shorten the nose, I'm taking it on the bottom of my nose. Again, using that mocha eyeshadow, I'm just using it to really deepen the eye sockets and to make them look a lot deeper than what they actually are. And I am taking a little bit of that down the sides of the nose as well to really change the shape of the nose and to really make it stand out. With a small, precise brush, I'm really going to create a very, very narrow nose. I'm almost creating a little half circle on the tip of my nose. So as you can see, I'm just creating the effect of a very, very narrow bridge, and then on the bottom of the nose, it's a little bit more circular, and this just creates the effect of a button nose. And then to really emphasize the button of the nose, I'm just drawing a little line at the bottom of the nose and then just blending this out. I have gone ahead and applied my eye makeup on one side. I did change quite a bit of it, so don't look at it too much because I do end up kind of altering it a little bit. But what I'm doing at the moment is just applying some white from the Makeup Forever Flash palette and then just applying a white eyeshadow from this Morphe palette and just setting it. So I'm just basically applying it all over the lid, and then we are going to create a cut crease effect, but I do want this to be as messy as possible. As you guys know, I'm very precise with my eye makeup, but I really wanted this to look messy, and because it's scary, it doesn't have to be neat. So because you want it to look a little bit creepy things aren't super perfect. And then I am going to be taking that same Makeup Forever cream colour and just applying it on the bottom lash line and just creating a semicircle, and this will just create the effect of much larger eyes than we actually have. And I'm also going to be applying a white kohl pencil to my waterline to make this blend a lot better. And then for this part, you do want to be as precise as you can. Just draw a black line to outline the semicircle we just drew in the white. I used a gel liner for this just because I do feel like I have a lot more precision with that. And then with that same gel liner and brush, I'm just going to be applying some super scary brows way above where my natural brows are covered. This just again creates a really shocked and doll-like effect. You can go for whatever brow shape you like, but I decided to go for some very thin circular brows. I also set the white on the bottom lash line, and now I'm just applying a brown eyeshadow and smudging everything on the lid, just because, like I said, I didn't want it to look neat and I really wanted it to look really smudgy and just really messy. So just go for whatever you want. You can go for something neat if you wanted to, but I just didn't want this to look precise. I went ahead and applied some Eldora false lashes, and then I am going to be applying some bottom lashes too. As you can see, I changed my mind because I did have some really long bottom lashes on, but I decided to change it to something a little bit shorter. Applying some mascara to make my natural lashes blend a little bit better with the false ones, and then I'm going to be applying these red cherry short bottom lashes. These were perfect in my opinion because I just feel like it gave that doll look without it being too over the top. And then I'm just going ahead and just perfecting some of the nose contour and just making everything look a little bit more perfected. Finishing touches really do help, so just go ahead and finish off everything else that you need to. Next, we're going to get started on the mouth area. I decided to line my lips with a red lipstick just because when I looked at some of the Ventriloquist dolls that used to be made, they usually did have a dark lip, so I just lined my lips with cherry lip pencil, and then I went on top of that with Gerard Cosmetics Fire Engine lipstick. Taking some of that mocha eyeshadow from Makeup Geek on a precise brush, I'm just going to start to carve out the moving mouth. I drew two lines coming from my mouth and then took them downwards to create that mouth shape. It's kind of hard to explain. It's not totally a rectangle, but you can play along with this depending on how you want your expression to be. I wanted mine to look a little bit more sad, so I kind of turned the lines downwards, but if you wanted yours to look more happy, then you could turn it upwards. It's totally up to you. I used some of the brown just to shade inwards, and then I'm taking some black gel liner and just going on the outside of the shape we just drew, and then I am going to be shading on the inside as well just to create a 3D effect. Next, just taking this brown shade from the Makeup Forever Flash palette. This is totally optional, but because I wanted to go for a wood doll, I decided to go for some lines on the skin to make it look like I was carved from wood. You can totally leave this if you feel a little bit nervous, if you feel like you'll ruin it. I feel like it looks good with and without, but I just feel like it gave it a little bit more of a textured effect, and it did make it look a little bit scarier. So if you do want to go for something really creepy, then just go ahead and draw some random lines everywhere going downwards. So guys, that is the end of this makeup tutorial. I hope that you enjoyed something a little bit less pretty and a little bit more creepy. This is probably the only creepy tutorial for Halloween I'm gonna do this year. I personally just prefer pretty makeup, so I'm gonna do a few more glam Halloween tutorials. If you do have any suggestions, like I've said in the past, then please do leave them down below because I'd love to hear. So if you did enjoy this video, then please give it a thumbs up for me because it really does help me out, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I put new videos up 3 times a week, and yeah, I hope you guys liked this video, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye guys!